But you should say, I don't know how much shit. Chetty, understand? So you know how much shit, I don't know how much shit. So that interaction, okay. Our senior colleague is here. Oh, you don't want to show your face.
Leave me alone.
She will show it. She will show it. She will get choice.
Mr. Shehu, meet our senior colleague, Madam Omowumi, senior colleague.
Someone started recording. I don't record though.
We'll start the recording now.
Hey, what you guys saying? Kill yourself.
I love every I'll see no. Okay, so I think the recording has started. So the recording has
started recording, yeah.
Okay, good. That's beautiful. So we must send I'm gonna send.
Hi, baby. Hi, Mom. How you doing? Mom. Hi. Why are you calling me come class? I'm gonna mute you.
So you can click on send the link. So Mr. Shehu, just share your screen. Do you know how to share your screen? You are muted, though.
It's muted.
Sorry, Moti share Shetiri.
Oh yes, we can see it now.
Okay.
Okay, good. So now go to our chat.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the chat. So click on that link to send it.
Okay.
Okay, good. So
Check me now. Click Abby.
I click it.
Mr.
Shehu, please. Yes, we need to do exactly. We need to replicate. The two of you have to replicate the same thing. So at the same time, you have to get the same results. So let's start like this, Mr. Shehu. Create the Azure portal.
Yes. This one.
Okay. Yes, I can see.
Okay, so go back to Active Directory, right?
Yeah, good. So don't worry. Since you have already created, you have your own Azure portal. Just stay there. Okay. So Mr. Kunle, Shetty click link here now.
Is asking me which one do you want me to go? You know I have to.
No. Mr. Shehu will be sharing his screen.
I know. I mean, which of the Azure portal you want me to go?
Oh, do you have two?
I have 2 accounts now. Remember?
I only know of one. Maybe
okay, I'm here. Don't worry, I'm here.
So that I will know the one that is right.
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here now. I'm in my Azure user. Yeah.
Okay, good. So let's start, Mr. Shehu. Start the reading.
Okay. Lab 01, manage Azure Active Directory identities, student lab manual. Lab scenario. In order to allow consortium users to authenticate by using Azure AD, you have been tasked with provisioning users in group accounts. Membership of the group should be updated automatically based on the user job titles. You also need to create a test Azure AD tenant with a test user account and grant the account limited permission for resources in the console Azure. No
background noise.
Okay, there's a background noise.
On my end?
I don't know which end. Okay, it's gone now.
Okay. Note: an interactive lab Simulation is available that allow you to click through this lab at your own pace. You may find slight differences between the interactive simulations and the hosted lab, but the core concepts and idea being demonstrated are the same. Objective in this lab, you will task one,
Okay,
create a
sorry,
Azure.
before you go into your objective,
Okay.
statement okay, yeah, the first paragraph, kí lẹ fi pé wọ́n sọ?
Ṣé níbi note àbí ti lab scenarios?
Lab scenario, what do you think they are saying? That first paragraph that started from in order that ended the
Okay,
subscription.
let me read again. In order to allow Constoso users to authenticate by using Azure AD, you have been tasked with provisioning users in group accounts. I think they're asking us to create a user's account and a group account.
Okay. So what's the main thing here?
You said what's the main?
There's the main thing. But this was exactly I did to Mr. Clayton when he went through this. The main thing.
Right. The main thing here, to my knowledge, is is that we go to Azure AD and we create a user account and a group account. That is a task.
Okay, so let me help you out. Let me help you out. You said in order to allow Contoso user, I saw on your Azure portal, I saw something like King Ventures or something.
Right. Azure created none ilé.
Yeah, she might Azure created
Yeah, me Azure created.
Okay, good. So now King Venture is your company, right? And then you wired, let's say 10 people or 25 people. So you want them to work within your premises, this is your organization, right? So now if you go back to the notes you are reading.
Okay.
So if you remove where they wrote Contoso users to King users, so that means they are talking about your business.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So in order to allow take your users to be your staff.
Okay.
Take your users to be your staff. You understand? So automatically they are talking about your staff. In order your staff, people that we have wired, to authenticate using Azure AD. So what is your Azure AD? That's your Azure Active Directory.
Right.
You understand? So your directory is like your phone book. Right?
Right.
Your phone book that contains their names, their phone numbers, that contains it contains a lot of information about them, the day that we hired, the day you understand, the day that we hired, their position, and all of those things. So now you have been tasked to provision a user or an also group account. So membership of this group will be updated automatically based on their job position. So you also need to create a test AD tenant and then a test user, grant those users a limited account permission within your premises. So what they are asking you to do basically is bring in all your staffs onto this place. So now we assume that your staffs are your users, okay? Then give them permissions in terms of usage and security, right? So which means if I'm a level officer one, maybe level one officer, a level one officer, then a manager, we have more permission because we have a lot of people under him than level ones than level two, right? An operation manager, we have more permission, that is, permission means that having access to other files, folders, whatever instances, and all those things that you have within your organization. Then, of course, the general manager or whatever you want to call it, CEO or CEO, operation manager or whatever, or chief operational manager, or what they call them, would have, the highest, level of permission, whereby they have access to everything within the organization. So do you understand? So while you have people coming into your organization, you also have the idea of making them a user, that is like a staff that you have hired, and then at the same time, giving them that access level of position. So let's go. So the first objective is to create and configure Azure AD users. Okay. The second one,
Yes.
you will now assign the AZ group with assigned and dynamic membership. So you must also understand what your dynamic membership is, what your normal membership is. Though we have gone through that in the last class. So they manage your AD guest users. So that this image, scroll up. You can screenshot this image. Yes. So this is the architecture of everything they want you to do.
Okay.
So you can paste it under the. Okay, so now let's go. So scroll down. So now let's go now.
Okay.
So now you're saying sign into your Azure portal. So you're already in your portal. So search for Active Directory.
We're already there.
Now this is what you do. That shame, yes, drag it out. Do you know how to drag it out?
No.
Okay. Okay, don't worry if you don't know how to drag it out. So look for Azure AD Directory.
Yeah, Moti Wambe.
Okay, go to users. Go to users.
Yes, right here.
So can you see that you already have some users?
Right.
Based on okay, I remember this is you, this is me when we joined. Then this other one will be the other man that taught you, right?
Yeah, these are the 4 that the other man helped me to create.
Okay, you know what? Click on those 4. So, Mr. Kule, are you following? Hello, Mr. Kule, are you following?
Yes. You want to click on the 4 too?
Yes. So that click on those ones that are not my own. Leave my own. Okay. Leave your own. Then also, okay. Wait, Mr. Sheon, please show me that particular thing, that username. That
The username.
The Azure portal,
Okay.
yeah.
Right here.
The Azure portal. Yes, so you click on it. Come up here, you see delete. Click on delete and delete them.
Right here?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So now, Mr. Kule, share your screen. Let me show you the one you will delete.
Okay.
So that you will start afresh. So the two of you will be able to create the same thing. You understand?
Hold on. No. That's okay. Yeah, it's me.
Don't worry, it has deleted. Refresh the whole Azure portal. Refresh the whole Azure portal.
You delete though.
Don't worry, delete. refresh again.
Okay.
Let's give it time. So, Mr. Akunle, please share your screen.
Yeah, I'm still finding where to share my screen now.
So let's wait for him to share so that the two of you will be at the same page so that you can create the same task. Try to understand.
Right.
Why do you share the screen, sir? Open share, okay. Okay, I'll send it now. Sure. Don't even know what to share. Window, okay. Are you seeing me? Sorry.
Yes, you.
I'm supposed to share the okay. Excuse me, let me see. Text on. Okay.
Sure,
So
share
where do you? Yeah.
So go to your Azure portal now. Go to your Azure portal. So share
Then.
that drill it. So now, EBT display name why? Click on the first one. Okay, yes, box here. Box while like display name. Box one, yes, good. Click on that box. Now uncheck Adekunle Osun. Okay, uncheck Olugun Adedotun. Okay, so every other ones I'm gonna delete because we are still going to create them again. Do you understand?
Okay.
Okay, so click on blue. Okay, so just refresh the portal. All right. So, Mr. Sheung, so you can now show your screen now. So that let's continue.
Okay.
So, Mr. Kule, you can follow instruction and then.
No wala.
So that so the first task it will be done by Mr. Sheung. The second task will be done by Mr. Kule. And interchange so that we know that nobody is left behind.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So the first task now. Mr. Sheung, please share your screen.
What to share?
That's still
Are
my
you sure
screen.
this is your screen? That's still.
Yeah, if we don't move or.
You have not shared your screen. Are you
Still
the
my
one
screen now.
highlighting lab?
Hold on, checking. Bye, watch your TV.
Yeah, it's coming up. Okay, so now go to your portal. Okay, good.
Which one?
Yeah, good. So now, so go back, click on that home at the top, on top of the user. Okay. So now go to your instruction. What is your first instruction? Or perhaps now you should be on instruction
Find
number 3.
Azure portal, go to Active Directory.
So instruction number 3. Let's carry out instruction number 3.
On Azure Active Directory Blade, scroll down and manage section. Click user settings and review available configuration option.
Yeah. So go there.
So Active Directory, user. Then it's a go to manage view.
No. Manage, under manage section. You are going to user settings. Scroll down. Yeah, that's it. No. Yeah,
Right
that's
there.
it. Right there. So what are the options do you have there? The first option says users can register applications. The other option says restrict no admin user from creating tenants. Then the third one says
users can create security groups.
Then the next one,
Guest user access, learn more. Guest user access restriction. Guest user have the same access as members. Most inclusive. Guest users have limited access to properties and memberships of directory objectives. Guest user access is restricted to properties and memberships of their own directory objectives.
So do you know those that are called guest users?
Guests are people I invite. I didn't create them. They don't belong in the group. They don't belong there, but I invite them from maybe other organizations.
Good.
To join the.
So pick the first one. Pick the first option. No, there are 3 options there.
Right. So the first one.
Yes, click on the first one. Scroll down. Okay, so go to save and save it. So now switch to your instruction. Let's see the next instruction.
On Azure AD Blade, in the manage section, click users and then click your user account to display profile settings.
Okay. You need to go back to users.
Oh, it said click my profile, right?
Yes, click on your name.
Okay.
So now, can you see?
Click users and then click your account to display profile settings. Okay, so yeah, you know like why I accomplished this task.
So you can see that your account belongs to 2 group members.
Right.
You can see that. So now, Mr. Kule, please, we need to delete all the groups that we already have in this way. So go back to Active Directory.
Including me, Abby.
Yes. So I'm giving the 2 of you an instruction. So go to Active Directory, go and click your users. Click your group rather. Go back to Active Directory, click your group.
Àwọn eléyìí ní group gan.
So click on that box beside the name. So delete all the group. So we will still create it all over again so that formally help you understand. So I can now understand the concepts behind your grouping and why they have such a. Don't worry, we won't delete since I can see that. So Mr. Kunle, have you done the group too?
Yeah.
Chelsea, delete our group too,
It's telling me what to be rather that don't Chilano in that time. Okay. Yes, the group are gone now. Yeah.
Okay, the group are gone. Okay. So now continue the instruction.
Okay, I'm here now. What's going on?
He's like, tell me to read the
Okay, I will.
So the next instruction is on the Azure AD label manage user. Okay, so the next one is 5, right? Click Edit Properties and then sign in the Settings tab. Set user location to United States and click Save. Okay.
You're on mute now.
We are here now. We're waiting for you. As far as
What's up?
You're supposed to be guiding our people.
I stood up now. I was doing something. And besides, you are doing Azure Active Directory. Get on guiding there.
Well,
Uncle, what's up? Shewakba.
some boy, sure.
Ó gbọ́ mi dáhùn.
All right. Oh, well,
So he said, click Edit Properties, and then in certain tabs, so scroll up. No. Edit property, lower location is beside delete. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then scroll down and change the location to United States.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
location is
United States. It's already United States. So,
right.
So go back to your instruction.
Go click Save, right?
Have you ever Mama Argentina? Go back to your instruction. Go to the instruction.
Okay. So number 6, the next thing is navigate back to users or user blade and click new user. Okay.
Okay, good. So let's create a new user now. You need to go and provide the name.
So they give us a name to use, right?
Yes. So that is in number 7. So create a new user with the following settings. So that's Active Directory user 1. So I paste the C display name, you know. Span name. So deselect or to generate password. Or what I would just advise is write that no, check it. Open that password, click on it. So copy it out. Go and paste it in your notes. Why? Because when you sign in with this user, it will ask you to change your password. So there's no point putting the password you already. You understand? So go back to your portal again. So go to the instruction. What's the next instruction?
Oh shit, sorry. So 8. So initial password, provide secure password. You said deselect auto generate password.
Don't worry about that one. So
Okay.
go to job title. Copy
Job title.
Cloud Administrator.
Cloud Administrator, okay.
Job title. Yeah, paste as job title. Yeah, good. Then department is IT. Then usage location is United States. Department is IT. Paste it. Then go to usage location. Who answer it? Usage location. Only any other setting. So let's check the following. Let's check other instructions. Okay, so copy to clipboard.
Number 7. So go to number 8 in the list of users. Click
No. Before number 8, see this instruction. It's very important.
No, it's okay. Copy to clipboard. The full user principal name.
Username plus domain.
You will need it later in the task.
Yes, you understand. Scroll up. Okay, really bad. Under basic, let's marry.
Share our background of the new project.
No problem. No problem.
It will let you copy.
So now just go to review plus create. I'll copy a later. I will show you where to copy. Yes, click on that. So go to the copy. So the user, the first can you look in user principal name.
Okay.
So now what does this stand for? Please, I want you to understand what this means. User principal name. Your principal name is your domain name. Okay. For example, if you have shaleking.com, okay. Let's say you have a domain name, the name of your company, you have to build a website. When you build a website, your website will have a domain name. So what I go see Mr. Kunle will be Kunle Mackensen. No, I mean, yeah, that's the one for. So
Ibolewa, State Ulewa.
Maryland.
Okay.
Ibolewa.
You know, Texas more.
You know why Lagos?
Olówó Amẹ́ríkà. Ẹ̀yin ò ní wàhálà, iṣẹ́ pọ̀ lọ́dọ̀ yín yẹn gan.
Iṣẹ́ pọ̀ ní Texas.
Iṣẹ́ pọ̀ Texas o.
Ẹ̀yin Maryland, ẹ̀yin lè rule America.
Àríṣẹ́ ṣe.
So, you understand? So your UPN is for example, if I'm now a user in your domain, I will not be ade.at maybe kunleoshine.com or shalekingventure.com. So what we usually call an email address, so to say, an email address is what is referred to as user principal name. So it's divided into two. There's a user part of it, which is ade.at. Then there's a principal name, which is the domain name. So you understand. So in the course of your IT journey, you'll be seeing a lot of things like UPN, especially work environment where you need to sign in with they might ask you to sign in with your UPN. You'll not be wondering which one is UPN. So that's what they meant by UPN. So click on create. So one way or the other, you have created, okay, refresh. Don't worry, keep refreshing, it will come up.
Don't do there.
Share integrate Insha, because you are going to be the one to do the second task. Okay, the second task is from the first. Finally, I'm at you our principal our principal colleague.
Wùmí ṣe ń follow àdórí àbí fashion.
Kò yé mi o, èmi náà wonder pé bóyá wọ́n wà ní salon. Okay, so you know what you do now? Now go back to the Azure portal.
Okay.
The user you now, can you see here? You can see something that look like a table. Display name, user principal name, user type, on premises, identity, right? So between your user principal name and user type, there's a thin line there. Drag it so that the information under that user principal name will be revealing and be revealed. Drag it. Okay. Right now you are on display name. Can you see display name? Now move forward. User principal name.
Okay, right here.
So between this and user type, there's a thin line there. So drag it. Yes, drag it. No. To the other direction. Exactly. Drag it. Yes, it's okay. So now this is like a username now. You want to sign in. So for this particular user, you know this user now is not, you just created an hypothetical user. You understand? So now click on this copy sign here in front of this user. That yes.
Just create, right?
Yes, exactly. Click on it. So now LLC, do you know how to create incognito? How to go to incognito page?
Incognito.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Okay, so can you see where your Bing is? Where you have Sheol King at Gmail. Look.
Right here.
Yes, so on top of it, there's a 3 dots. Click on those 3 dots. So now click on new in private, the third option. Okay, so now type portal.azure. So what this is saying basically is that you have created a user. Let's say that user is in Nigeria. Okay, can you hear me? Let's say that user is in Nigeria, and the person, don't click anything yet, and the person want to start working. Okay, and then as an IT person for the company that is using Azure in the environment, these are the details you send to the person. Say, oh, user 1, welcome to our organization, right? So this is your username and password. So now paste that username there. Do Ctrl V and just paste. So go to next. Hello, copy password. Hello, paste like on it.
Okay.
The password is on your note. So automatically it will ask you to change this password. So do Alt Tab. No, not this one. Yeah, this is it. So paste the password. You click on sign in. What's going on?
Let me go and copy again.
No, you don't need to go and copy again. Go back to your Azure portal here. Go back to the Azure portal here. Click on Click on that user.
No, okay.
That user, yeah, click on it. Okay, so at the top you see reset password.
Right here.
So, okay, so copy that password now. Click on that. The copy icon is beside it there. Okay. So switch back and then paste it there. So now imagine if, as an IT person, your staff are saying, I cannot log in, I cannot sign, I cannot log in, I cannot sign in, I cannot log in, I cannot sign in. You can see where you go now and go and change it without, just paste. You don't need to type anything now.
Oh shit, this is the old one.
Yes, the one later shall copy. Just do Ctrl V and paste it. Good.
So now use a password.
So there's a password we use in our training here. Is Nigeria at 2022. Do you know the password, Mr. Kunle?
Yes.
Nigeria 2022.
Nigeria at 2022. Capital letter N. Nigeria at 2022, exactly. Yeah. So that will not stress you because Azure Portal is designed to actually stress people. So before you start trying different.
Come and sit down. I don't want noise. So he's asking me for. Okay, I should ask me later, right?
What's he asking you?
He's asking me for authentication. Actually required something like that.
You don't need to authenticate. Don't worry. You don't need
ask
to authenticate. There's no problem. Hey, well, you can say ask me later. Yes.
This is the same thing he's doing.
He's just securing the. Don't worry. Just continue. Yeah. Continue. He's just showing you if it's already verified. Click on done. So click on yes. So these are authentication and authorization, this thing. So now, can you see now? So let me ask from our senior colleague. Our senior colleague don't move me. Why are we having this portal like this? Why are we having start? Please go back to that portal that you signed into.
Okay. This one.
Yes. So, Madam Omome, please unmute. Let even celebrate her. She passed her exam. Almost 900.
Okay now.
So she's going for the second level. So I'll be trying to reach her. So even say congratulations, but
congratulations.
Thank you. So what's going on? I have you doing me concentrate.
Okay, so this is what I want you to do. There's a new user that just logged into Shell King Ventures, and then the user is seeing this. So, as an expert in this field, as a senior colleague, how can you make sure that this user is not come? Yes, now that's why you are here. So, how can you make sure that this new user now, this new staff, is not confused by what he or she is seeing? Please.
They're hard suspicions.
I'm asking you to solve the problem to us. Don't ask me questions. Don't use questions to do.
I've answered. I said we should add suffocation to it.
So you are saying that, what are you saying in the essence?
It's because this user does not have any subscription. That's why it's like this.
The oracle has spoken. So now you are seeing this because this user now does not have any subscription. Okay. So if the person has been created as an identity, but he cannot do anything. He can't even create any resources. Why? Because he's not added to that environment where he or she can begin to deploy resources. Do you understand? So that was the reason why I asked her to. So anytime you are seeing these three things, like saying welcome to Azure, and you are saying these three things, it's already telling you that account does not have any subscription. You know. So as per what our senior colleagues have said, we go with that. I want more. You understand?
Wow.
Okay, so let's continue. Let's continue. Go back to the main tab. Okay, so go to the instruction now. So now it should be in number 9, right? So go ahead and
number
read.
8. So number 9,
Yes.
review the options available in the manage section, and note that you can identify the Azure AD role assigned to the user account, as well as the user account's permission to Azure resources.
How many things are they asking to do here? Please identify those things. Read the statement again.
Review the options available in the manage section. Okay, so we go
Number
to
1,
manage
review
section.
option. Number 1, review
Right.
option.
Okay. Number 2, note that you identify the Azure AD role assigned to the user account.
Number 1, review options. Number 2, identify AD rules assigned.
Azure AD rules.
Do you understand? Can you see the way I'm breaking those things down? Then number
Right.
3,
as well as the user account permission to Azure resources.
so how many things are they asking to do?
That's 3 tasks.
3 things.
3 things. Number 1,
Review
Number 1
the available option.
is go to
number 2,
Identify the AD roles, the roles
assigned to that particular user account.
assigned particular to the user, yeah.
Then number 3,
The permissions
the permission on that particular user account.
on that
So now
particular
switch.
account.
So go to that user, go to manage. So this is the user. So under the these are the manager, custom, assign role, administrative unit, group, application, made by managing, right? So you can also see those informations here. So first of all, you can see the name of the user, which is Z104 AAD user 1. tó bá jẹ́ pé adédọ̀tún náà ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe máa rí gbàgàràgbàgàràgbà ń bẹ̀ náà nìyẹn as adédọ̀tún tó wá jáde kúnlé náà ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe máa rí nìyẹn. You understand? Now look at the user principal name. I'm always telling you that so there's something you must have been taught. Of course, Mr. Kunle, I'm so sure of that. I've taught you about object ID. That is, everything in Azure are in form of an object. So because they are object, they have an identification number. Sure, you understand? So which means you can create this same user 3 times. That is, you can have Adedotun at Sheun Kings. Another Adedotun at Sheun King. You can add the third Adedotun at, you understand? But something will be different. That is the object ID.
The object ID.
Do you understand? So see the object ID as your matric number, as some identification number that identify everything on Azure. Okay. So now we are reviewing that. Then go to assign role by the side here. Other manage.
Egbemo.
The panel, the pane beside where you have overview, manage, customs. Yeah, it was solid. Yeah, it was solid. So you see assigned row.
Right.
Yeah.
Click here.
Yeah, click on it. We are going there. So is there any role assigned to this person?
No.
No, there's no role.
There's no role assigned to this person. Okay. So go back to overview. So one more thing. What was the last thing they want us to check?
Permission, I think. Permission. Users account permission to Azure resources.
Okay, so how do you check the permission now?
Is it gonna be show that license Lumawa?
No, go back to overview. Go to monitoring. Go to properties. So scroll up. So now look at the level of permission. Check the user type. What is the user type?
User type member.
Okay. So how many user types do we normally have?
I
thought you before.
Three.
Three, good.
Three.
Number one.
Member get
Yes.
and Maright.
Where is that member? You are right. So what's the third one?
The third one. Wow, member guest.
Oh yeah, can you go more because I know the other man would have taught you now. But if they working with
right.
So the one you call member is called cloud member, not ordinary member. Cloud member because you created them on the cloud. So we have cloud member.
Yes. The one that we have wait oh. Member.
Yes, it's called cloud member.
Okay. Guest user. Member the user. Assigned. No, cloud identity.
Yes, which is cloud member.
At direct group.
I know what you're trying to say.
I think on-prem.
Exactly.
On-prem, right?
Oh,
on-prem.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You guys should clap for yourself. I really try.
Cloud member, cloud guest, and on-premise.
On-prem.
Yeah. So you understand now. So the on-prem remember your kuda.com, remember those physical server that I showed you right from the beginning of our class. So remember our hypothetical 100 staffs. Remember the 100 laptops that I've always told you about, because one way or the other I would have, of course, I've been on the so I know it's the same style I've taught you. You have an hypothetical 100 laptops 100 staffs that are working for you in the physical environment. Then you have your physical server. Okay, so from your physical server, you will join all the laptops to it and all of that. So when you are now deciding to move to cloud, you now say, okay, let our staff also move to cloud. So when you are moving them to cloud, you will now. So one of those things that I wanted us to do is that what we'll do is that I will use Madam Wumi's portal to create a virtual machine. It's going to be like a server. It's going to be practical something. So she'll create a server, would create a user there, maybe about 4 or 5 users, and then that server will serve like an on-prem server. Okay, so we now synchronize our own server to maybe any of you guys' portal, so that you now be able to identify a cloud identity, which is a cloud member, then on-prem members, and then guest users. Okay, so let's move on.
Hi, Jane in my office.
Ademilade Bo. Ademilade na senior man.
No, the point is, I once grew up with one Demilade, so when they call request.
Demilade na senior man.
Okay, so let's continue. Let's continue. So number 9 now should be number 9.
10.
Number 9, I shall parry.
Okay, number 10. So go ahead.
In the manage section, click assign role, then click add assign, then click add assignment button and assign the user's administrator role to
that particular user now. So the kind of rules you want to give to that. No, you don't need to highlight. Don't worry, no. You don't need to highlight anything. You don't need to highlight anything. So go to manage, click on assign role, click on add assign. Go to Azure portal. So you are under user already. LOC manage. Assign role. Yeah, yes. Click on assign role. Then under custom. No. Not this one. Okay, lower assigned role. It's under manage. Yes.
Oh, this one. Okay.
Yes. Assigned role. We are looking at Maright add assignment.
Okay.
So, if talk of search, looking here. If talk of search, looking. Yes. Type user. So, what's the salary? Look for user administrator. Only last one salary. Check it. So, kí ló ní ó lè ṣe? Ẹ wò kó tán ló lè ṣe ní sùúrù.
Can manage all aspects of users and groups, including resetting password for admins.
So, let's assume that this particular user, when you hire this guy into your IT team, the only thing you're asking this guy to come and do is to be managing all the users and the group. He cannot even create any machine. He can't even create any resources. He can't even do anything. But if you create the resources and you need the user or a staff to work on it, is this guy now that will add staff A or staff B into those resources to work. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
Do you understand? So iṣẹ́ bọ̀bọ́ yìí sìn òun ni pé kó kàn máa manage users àtàwọn group tẹ́ bá create. Iṣẹ́ nìyẹn. A máa manage users, a máa manage àwọn group, a máa reset password. So if a staff is complaining that, oh, I cannot log in, it is not your wahala. It is that user number reach out because we know in charge of the users. You understand now? So that's why they call him a user administrator. So the role they assign for.
So if I will get you right, all these roles right here, these are actually roles and positions that they hire people into, right?
that people can do within an Azure portal.
Got you. Okay.
If you look up, can you see the one that says guest inviter?
Right.
Chelsea,
Yes.
this one can just be managing if there is need for them to invite somebody that is not in your organization. This person will be the one to invite them.
Okay.
No other person will be able to invite. So you can imagine. It's very to click on an ad. Sure, you understand now. So
Yes.
this is what is called role assignment. Because not role assignment. So you have assigned role to that person. Under assigned role, this person is a user administrator. Okay, good. So Mr. Kunle, I hope you have assigned the role too. So next question.
Wọ́n ti assign ẹ̀ kò wá o.
Refresh it.
Kò wá o.
Okay, so continue.
Ó ti wá, a dúpẹ́.
No, you also have the option to assign Azure AD role when provisioning a new user.
So what that means is that particular user, hence in telephony user account, telephony user administrator, only ability láti assign role náà fún ẹlòmíì tó bá provision tí a new user bá join. Shey you understand? Only ability. You know, he's an administrator. That's an elevated position, but he's dealing with all the users. It's like he's dealing with all the staffs. So tẹ́ bá hire èèyàn lé ní báyìí sìn, ó máa create account ìfẹ́ nìyẹn, á tún fún ní role. Shey you understand?
Right.
Got the statement yẹn sàn bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. So let's go.
Okay. 11. Open an in-private browser window and sign into the Azure portal using the newly created user account. When prompted to update the password, change the password to a secure password you choose. I think Artishan, you're ready, right?
Yes, we have. Yes, we have.
Okay.
So go to 12.
Okay. In the in-private browser window, in the Azure portal, search for and select Azure Active Directory. So since tí a ní subscription fún ilé ìta sign tí a nílé perform task ní àbí.
Kí ló ní kẹ́ ṣe?
In the in-private in the Azure portal, search for and select Azure Active Directory. I think we should still be able to do that. Let me see.
Yeah, now he's a user administrator. Ó lè create user. You understand? Òun ni wọ́n sọ fún yín ní number 11 yẹn. That number 10 note one number 10. So lélẹ̀ ìsìn. So now what they're asking you to do now is that number 14. Ṣebí number 14 lẹ́wà. So now go to Azure Active Directory and click new user. Ó yẹ kó lè create user.
So sorry, I think I'm getting this wrong. It's still talking about the in-private, the account we sign into in-private.
Òun náà sọ. Understand?
Okay.
No, let us assume that the person is Chinedu.
Which
let us assume that the person is Chinedu. Check, Bob.
Right.
Let us assume that the person is Chinedu, right?
Right.
So Chinedu now. Kí ni irú Chinedu sìn?
User administrator.
Exactly. User administrator. So you get òun ló máa wà ní charge of creating and managing all the staffs So whatever that is seen here.
Okay.
So go ahead. So what you do now, go to Azure Active Directory. Okay, let him search from. Okay, let him search from.
Okay.
So you need to go to users and then create user. So share user this AAD user one you look for create users and share more.
This one on look for create user, right?
Hope you know.
Right. Yes. Today I can't tell login.
Right. We need to be on the same page because this is not shame.
Right. Right. I can't delay that one.
Exactly.
But so the same way, but she created in order to show again.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Share the same information la malo.
So information will question on a check question.
Okay.
So you might need to use a Alt tab. That is switch. Okay. So number 15, create a new user with the following settings. So I paste there, man. Then I paste the same things in display. You don't need to go and copy the same thing.
Oh, the same thing. Okay.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
So okay, auto generate next.
Yeah, so copy the password out.
So usage location can United States, right?
Yes, just follow the instruction. So the job title is system administrator. That's this new person you are creating now. But meanwhile, the first person is cloud administrator. Do you remember?
Right, then.
Yeah.
So I'll create a ben.
Yes, as a supply of information.
Right. So review and create. Checking copy, le number she copy.
Yes, so I copy it. Yes, I copy it. And I copy password there. I just paste it in your notes. Don't worry, you can change the password.
So don't copy it, Abby.
No, don't worry, you might be able to just click on create.
Okay.
You get the password. So successfully created. So refresh, you should have 4 users now. Okay, good. So go back to our instructions. So can you see now that a user that is made a user administrator can create another user?
Yes.
So now task 2, Mr. Kunle.
So sorry, before we go.
Okay.
So the only reason why this second user is able to create a user on his own is because we pay role is
of the assigned role. Exactly.
Assigned role. So tó bá jẹ́ role mi ni kò ní lè create it because kò ń ṣe share, right?
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
Okay. I better get here. Little bury. Yeah, so it's no one. Okay, so let Mr. Kunle share his screen and then the instruction. So now let's go with the task 2 now.
So àwọn ló máa ṣe task 2 yẹn àbí?
Àwọn ló máa ṣe task 2 yẹn. So bó ṣe ṣe yẹn, ẹ̀yin náà máa follow ẹ o.
Okay.
You should be creating your own. So okay, good.
So task 2.
Yeah, you can just read it out.
Create Azure AD group with assigned and dynamic membership. In this task, you will create Azure Active Directory groups with assigned and dynamic membership. 1. Back in the Azure portal where you sign in with your user account. Navigate back to the overview blade of the Azure AD tenant. In the manage section, click licenses.
Okay, so before we go, I always ask you, what's the central theme? Just like I asked Mr. Shem the other time.
Right.
So the theme is this one is back in the portal where you assign the user. We have to go back. First of all, we have to go back to the main account, which is the user's account. That is the first thing they ask us to do. Then number 2, we have to go. So what are you talking about?
As a Nikukurede,
okay, Nikukurede. We can create the license. We got the licensing. That means they want us to join the paid the higher version of it, because naturally now we are using the free. For the AD group we created, the tenant we have, we are using the free tie, and they want us to upgrade our level to the P1 or P2. Chimogba.
It's like part A, part B. Okay, well, answer part B without answering part A.
Okay, so P1 P2 yẹn. Ṣé Azure tab ni ṣé cloud tab ni P1 P2 tẹ́ gbé wọ yẹn?
Okay, the P1 or P2 is the premium. Okay, what happened is the one that alone saying if there is a limitation or there's a limited thing we can do with this one we are using. So for us to be able to do more, we have to upgrade our level to the P1 or P2, which is now we are buying their license. Like we are buying the license, we are moving up to create more resources from the tenants. So we are tenants, we don't pay flat. So we want to upgrade our tenancy to duplex now. So I fẹ́ lọ sí duplex àbí ká lọ sí detached kinesi.
Mr. Kunle, èmi sì sọ kọ̀kọ̀ pé party B ní question tẹ̀sán answer ẹ̀ tí answer party A question.
Okay.
Ó dẹ̀ wà boldly written sí first line yẹn. Because team yẹn wà important so that you know exactly.
Okay, we have to
the reason why you are doing it.
back in the Azure portal where you assign your accounts. Okay, now go back to the overview page section. So okay, we have to the task here is just for us to create a group active directory group, and we assign and a dynamic membership. No, a dynamic membership, creating a direct active directory group and dynamic membership. No,
you are right.
You have to upgrade the levels.
You are right. The only thing tí mo expect kẹ̀kẹ́ kan sọ ni pé ẹ kàn fẹ́ create a dynamic membership. That's the only thing. You understand? So ìdí tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ create dynamic membership is that you can add your member to a group dynamically. Then kẹwàá tó lè add here using dynamic style. It's like you can do something ordinarily then or dynamic. So for you to now use the dynamic method of adding people to a group, you need to now move to P1, P2. Ṣé pé P1, P2 level kan ṣàlàyé nǹkan tẹ́lẹ̀ fi ṣe.
So that means if you want to live in an ensuite toilet and bathroom.
Èmi ò wá mọ̀ ẹ̀ náà. Èmi ò wá mọ̀ sí toilet and bathroom.
You have to move from me I face you.
You understand? No, it didn't. No, no. Nǹkan tí ó go bá analogy ẹ lọ ni pé if you want to have a wife and children, you must say okay. You want to have a wife and children, you must leave your one bedroom to ilé ìtẹ̀sán yẹn. Set get scope yẹn. If you don't want to have a wife and children, o lè continue láti máa gbé yàrá kan. But you want to have a wife and children because that if you are married, the life of a woman dynamically is introduced to you. There are a lot of things you don't understand. You start raising children, there are a lot of things you don't understand. You understand? So it's a dynamic environment. Unlike if you are alone, you already know how to live your life. But when 3 people are coming into your life, there are a lot of things that so the idea is dynamic membership. Okay, so I quickly want to go through. I saw that Mr. Show might not have had the opportunity to because he was asking that question. So let me just quickly go through a particular slide that will also help. Helping before we do that. Okay, let me quickly share my screen so that you have a basic understanding. It's just a basic understanding of it, so it's not.
Okay.
So I'm sharing my screen.
Okay, I can see now.
Can you see my screen? Okay.
Yes.
I don't know if I've ever taught you with this. I doubt I've not. So just to show you the dynamic and okay, so by Lucy Bear. So the subscription type is can have the free related low, then pay as you go. So later you now move to pay as you go after your 30 days. The enterprise agreements, these ones are company, big company. They will tell them that okay, let's give you $10,000 ahead and let us be using Azure portal. Then students, student the student type. Okay, but that's not where we are going. So this is where we are going. This is where we are going. Okay. Subscription. Previous group. Okay, so look at this. These are the three different types. The cloud identity, the question I asked the other time. The directory synchronized identity, which is one coming from on-prem, and then the guest user. You understand? So how do you identify them? So for those coming from, these are your members. Okay. So these are guests. And then those that are synchronized, you also see them. Sorry, I need to create group account. Okay. Okay, so there are 3 ways of adding members. We have the assign. You can assign a member. Then you can use dynamic user. So the dynamic user you try láti ṣiṣẹ́ lé lórí. Don't try láti sọ pé before we can use dynamic user, we must move to a particular subscription. Okay. It's the subscription I'm trying to. I've seen that stuff before. I don't know.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Ẹjọ fún mi lé mi ní kí sáré tọ̀nà ẹjọ.
Okay, no problem. Go ahead. Yeah, this is not one. Okay. Because I'm one. But we want this alone.
Professor.
Yes, ma'am.
Should the other person any answer?
Yes, from Faith, your sister. So he later told me that we needed more time. I needed to learn. I said, okay. That Saturday and Sunday agreement.
Then she was surprised.
Yeah. So, but he wanted. So he spoke with Jubi. Jubi was like, it was not apparently sure. Depending on the trainer, the trainer was agree láti ṣe extra day pẹ̀lú ẹ̀. You understand? So when he now spoke with her, I now discovered that eventually going is even from my hometown.
Everybody from your town. Kirode, which town ni gbogbo yín ti wá?
Àkúrẹ́ ni gbogbo wa ti wá.
Do you know I'm from Ondo State, kind of. I used to say kind of. because of
You're
a
married
reason.
to, you're married to, is your husband from
No,
Lagos?
I'm confirmed on Weko, but I have a situation because of my last name, eh? When I was in
Yeah.
primary school, we were in primary 5. But I resumed primary 5 when they were asking, what state are you from? So I was like, I'm from Lagos State. And the teacher was like, with your last name, when you get home, go and tell your parents you are not from Lagos State. You are from Ondo State.
So what's your last name?
Akinjagunla.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth.
So I went home. I remember telling my dad, and my dad was like, well, no matter what you want to feel in school, he does not know anywhere, but he knows the story that I want Akinjagunla, blah, blah, blah. But he's born in Lagos, Island, the confirm. Blah, 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 blah. The same story carried me to secondary school. I reached Unilag. I have a lecturer in pole science, Dr. Oluwajuyetan. He saw my name, submit. He saw the name. He was like, you're from my town. You're from Ilaoluji. I was like, no, I'm not from Ilaoluji. I'm from Lagos State. The story carried me, reach my first job at the Nation newspaper. My boss, immediately he saw that name. She was like, oh, you're from Ondo State. I was like, no, sir, I'm from Lagos State. So no matter what anybody asks me, I always say, I'm from Lagos State. But at the end of the day, I want to about Morocco. Since I now got married.
Position commissioner,
Commissioner, she will be commissioner.
Special advisor. No, she's from Lagos State.
Are nice, yeah, can claim wow, we are nice people.
Nibola people see.
Mr. Doswe, they come up on those states in Jason.
In fact, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ Jésù. Ibo ni Mr. Kule wá lọ báyìí sìn? Okay, so can you see my screen?
Yes.
You're going to fi kíní yẹn, so he is aware. So we call it Active Directory editions. Okay. Right. So these are features on those editions. So on the edition, let me increase this. So on the editions, we have the free edition, we have the Microsoft 365 edition, then we have the premium one, premium P1 and premium P2. So under the free edition, our directory object that it creates is 500,000. So for example, if you have, so imagine you have 100,000 users, but automatic for you know now 100,000 users. You understand? Or 100,000 virtual machines. You know, all those objects, anything you are creating, you know, object.
So more object same thing as user.
Object ID. No. What I was saying is that you can have Oluwaseun Ogunjebi at, let's say, at Microsoft.com. There can also be another Oluwaseun Ogunjebi at Microsoft.com. Also, orúkọ òun náà nìyẹn. Ṣé mo kọ́kọ́ tá lè fi jà méjì sọ́tọ̀ ni pé differentiate ni pé tó bá sọ pé obìnrin lòun. Kẹ̀tọ́ pọ́kùnrin lẹ́yìn. Kí ló pa yín lẹ́rìn? Ṣé ẹ ti understand? Or middle name yín kó yàtọ̀ síra. But Oluwaseun náà lẹ́jọ́ ń jẹ́. Ṣé you understand? So in order not to, you know, in terms of IT and databases and all of that, fine boy, we're fine. In order not to cause wahala or convoluted. So any object that is defined in a database is given a database ID. You understand? That ID is like an identification number. What they want school, or any matric number. So the one you get to Oluwaseun mẹ́rin in class, matric number, you know, you understand? So see that object ID as the matric number. That identification number that identify that particular object within the environment. So,
Yeah.
so they are saying that you can have over 500,000 object ID, which is too much anyway. But about moves in Microsoft 365, which means you are paying a certain amount of money. Because anybody that has Microsoft 365 is paying already, they pay monthly. So you have unlimited. Of course, premium means that you're actually paying more because there are more services you also want to get. So look at all the premium services like your premium features, hybrid identity, advanced group access management, conditional access, identity protection, identity governance. So it is under dynamic lower. So the idea now is that create there's another thing about yes. Okay, this is your Azure ID. Let me see if I can still find it. Okay, under user, these are the three types of users: cloud identity, direct synchronized identity, which is come from your server, your on-prem server, then your guest user, then I saw it the other time. Okay. So two type of group. So if you look at this, which is the next task, Mr. Kunle Feshienson, you want to add members to a group. So to add members to a group, you must create the members. Then it creates you're going to create at least 2 members. So P2, you will need to now also have to create a group. So if you create a group, there are 2 ways you can add people to that group. It's like adding people to a WhatsApp group, that kind of a thing. So so the way you ask people the way you add people to a WhatsApp group, it can be taken to be called assigned. So this one lets you add specific users to be members of this group and to have a unique permission. So assigned, you just add people. Okay, I add them, B, I add them. But when it comes to dynamic user, there are parameters to be set. There are a lot of parameters. One of the parameters can be you can add people. One of the parameters can be based on their department. The one not pay when you are creating those users, you were putting department as IT, right? Then you were creating those users, you were putting title, the job that they are doing. So one was cloud administrator, one was system administrator. You understand? So when Mr. Kunle will start doing his own now, there will be another person, IT lab administrator. So you cannot begin to say, okay, let's assume that you have 10 users and 3 of them are cloud administrators. So 3 of them are cloud administrators. So you can create a dynamic user to say, okay, I want you to create this group. Anybody that happens to be a cloud administrator, put them together automatically. Azure Portal Luma group them together automatically based on the parameters you have provided. Do you understand what I'm saying? So now imagine if you have 1,000 users, would you go one after the other on 1,000 lists to be looking for cloud administrator? And at the end of the day, now discover that out of 1,000, there are just 8 people. You can imagine the amount of energy, time you would have invested in that. Meanwhile, with your P2 or P1 or P2 premium distance, you could do a dynamic assignment of members into a group. I don't know if you understand this.
Yes, I understand.
So the dynamic assignment of this group now, we now go through your 1,000 members and I say, okay, I'm looking for cloud administrator. Ako at the same time. Ako was in the group, which is
okay.
Do you understand? So
yeah.
Then he said dynamic user lets you use dynamic membership rules to automatically add or remove members. Chetiri is a dynamic rule. So when a member's attribute changes, Azure review dynamic group rule from the directory. If a member meet the required rules, they are added. If they are no longer needed, they are removed. So the same thing, user knowledge, device, you know, what are the devices? The laptops, the tab, the phone, the mobile phones that the organizations has procured for their staff to use. You understand? So you can automatically join them to your Azure portal using what we call dynamic device. So it will create a security group. So this lets you use dynamic group rules to automatically add or remove devices, just like your dynamic group. Do you understand? So this is what that is all about. So Mr. Kunle, please share your screen. So let's go ahead. So I think we've been able to make justice to that. Okay, so let's go. Can you hear us? You are muted though. We can't hear you.
Okay. Sorry. So it says licenses and all products.
Okay. So make sure that Mr. Shehu, make sure you are also following what he's doing.
I'm doing
because
the same thing.
You know,
it's
I already
likely
have
Mr. Kunle is likely to have activate his own license. Do you
I've
understand?
activated my license.
Èmi ò tí ì update sí tèmi.
So so
Okay, let me go back.
Let him go back.
So this is where we go. Go to, sorry, home, users. Mo tún ti lẹ́ẹ̀kan.
Ẹ padà sí instruction. Oh my help.
So user overview, blade, manage section, and licenses. So users, this one, you take the main account, which is your the main account, mean the main tenants.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going back again. From the users, this is my main account. Adekunle, that's the tenant, the main tenant. Then I'll click it. Under the manage section, I'll go to licenses.
Right.
But because I've really done my own. So your own, you will see different, you see this. You have to go to manage, then you have to look for all products.
So can you see? Confirm if you can see all products.
All products.
Under manage.
Under manage. Maybe you share your screen.
Okay, you can share your screen. So Mr. Kunle will guide you.
Okay. Share screen, man.
Yeah. So go to your Azure portal.
So right here.
Yeah, exactly.
So you go to license, then you add assign.
Assign.
There's license option. No. Wait.
So click
Go
on
back.
check the enterprise mobility.
Yes.
One thing is that
Now look for P2.
He has done it. He has done it.
He has done it now.
Yes, he has done it.
He has done everything, no.
He didn't know. You know, the person that also took him. That's one of the reasons he said he wants to join our class. The person was very fast, and there was a lot of new concepts. So you get, and I said, okay. We also have a brother who is also taking this class, that we go at our own very pace. We are not rushing ourselves. We take our time to explain concepts to ourselves and all of that. So, but the idea is, one way or the other, for the next 30 days, you can use Enterprise Mobility plus Security E5. So these are the licenses you have under it. Certificate licenses in there. Microsoft, bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ṣe rí nìyẹn ọkùnkùnlé, tẹ́ bá check tọ̀dọ̀ yín náà, ẹ máa rí gbogbo ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀. But it's just for the next 30 days anyway. After 30 days, you won't have that. You won't have it. But the idea now is that you can now configure. You can configure what we call your dynamic distance. So let Okunkule share his screen so that we continue the configuration.
Okay.
Since he has done it. So let me share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, you can see your screen.
So P2 I need.
Okay.
So we have done it. So we now go back to the instruction. So we have to refresh our browser. Go to licenses. Refresh. Why no they come? Babako, wow.
Go back to the instruction. Let's check. You will not select. Check. No. Leave everything. Leave everything. Check everything.
Right?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't save.
Click on save. So Mr. Kule, make sure you save too. Make sure you save, you know?
Yeah, now I know. So we now refresh.
You can refresh the main portal.
How much that goes? Wow. Ló ṣẹlẹ̀. Okay, it's here now.
So confirm if you have seen
your own.
Yeah, I've seen it. So products, okay. Enterprise Mobility Pro Service, Security E5, State Active, Enable Services, 9/9, Assignment, Part, Direct.
Okay. So the other man added some licenses for you. That's why you are having 9/9.
Oh, okay.
I have 4/4.
The man is a subject matter expert in identity. So we call their own field identity. So they will have access to some some licenses. That's one. Okay, so let's go.
Okay, so so now they said it can take up to 10 minutes. We have activated already. So the now instruction now one is from the licenses of product blade. Select to and assign license option to your account and the two newly created users accounts. From the licenses, all products, all product blade, select the Azure directive. We have done this
Premium to P2 and assign all
licenses options to Azure adding directory product P2 to your user's account and the two newly account. Okay. So what do I do?
So click on this premium too.
Oh, okay, true. Which one is on?
Everything is on. Cancel it. No. Okay, be X in let's cancel.
Really?
No, not there. The other edge. No.
I think it's asking for assignment.
Let's read the instruction again. Say from the licenses or products blade, select this P2 entry and then assign all license options at the Chile now.
At the Chile. In the Azure portal, then get back to the Azure AD tenant page.
And click on group. So you only need to copy those. So click on group now. So was it asking you to add a member?
Okay.
Well, you need to create a new group. You understand? So ẹ padà sí inú user lẹ́wà yìí, user Adékúnlé lẹ́wà yìí, ẹ máa padà sí Active Directory. So ẹ ṣe máa create group níbẹ̀. Ṣé o ti jẹ́ ibẹ̀ Mr. Ṣeun? Ẹ padà sí Active Directory, ẹ create group, so ẹ máa rí new group. So the group type should be security, not Microsoft 365. So that will be, are you sure? At the cloud administrator.
I think that's it now.
Please confirm.
Group name is IT Cloud Administrator.
Okay.
Group description.
Cloud Contoso IT Cloud. So do window V one go.
Member type. Membership type. Dynamic user. So local contact matching. The type drop down is this grayed out. Wait for a few minutes and refresh the product page.
Click dynamic query.
Reach out dynamic query.
So dynamic query, yellow one that be parameters the first set.
So are you following me?
Yes, I'm doing it, but you share me now.
Okay. So under dynamic query, we now have to, the property is job title equals a cloud administrator.
No. Configure rules tab.
Configure rules, yeah. Sorry, on the configure rules tab on the dynamic membership rules blade, we have to do settings. We have the values of the settings is property is the job title, operator is equals, value is cloud administrator.
So can you see the rule now? Sorry, you're under configure rule. So there's other one, validate rule. So under so now here under property, you look for this is and the equals to rather. So this will be job title equals to cloud administrator. Job title, type job. So value will now be cloud. Do Control V. No. I think clicks value here. You need to click. So click on IT Cloud Administrator. So I remove IT. Remove that IT. It should be Cloud Administrator here. Good. So check if there's any other instruction. So
save the rule by clicking add
expression.
Add expression and save. Add expression.
And then save while looking.
We save.
Yes.
They will now create.
So confirm if is on track. Mr. Shen, are you on track?
Yes, I'm with you.
Are you on track?
Am I on track?
Yeah, it's different from if you are with us. I'll be with us and not be on track.
Yeah, I'm on track. I'm with you. And I'm on track. I'm with you. I'm on track. I'm on everything.
Okay. To be on
so
track,
now we now create. That's number 10. We create. Voila. So refresh to see. Abere. Wow.
Wow.
Maybe we should keep refreshing.
Oh, today.
So can you see the membership type of this group is dynamic? Not assigned. You understand? Not assigned. So the only thing tí ó máa fi assign àwọn èèyàn sí inú group yìí ni if their job title is what? If their job title is what?
IT Cloud Administrator.
No, not IT. Cloud Administrator.
Cloud Administrator.
Ẹ padà lọ sí instruction ẹ so that I can show. Mr. Sheun, I hope you are not confused.
No, I'm.
So look at the query, number 8. Can you see number 8? It said add dynamic query. The dynamic query can be taken to be the parameter at which we are looking at, the machine will look at, the system will look at to assign somebody into that group. So the dynamic query, the rules that you give is that anybody that their job title is...
No, that was a mistake. It should be system administrator, the value.
No. The first one, little one looking for.
No, configure root that phone. We gave it IT administrator instead of system administrator.
No, it looks okay.
I mean, instead of cloud administrator.
Are you sure we are not making a mistake?
I think we are making mistakes somewhere. No, all right.
I made a mistake here.
5 flower.
This one.
5 flashes.
Let's scroll up. Ẹ padà sí tax 2. Ṣebí tax 2 àṣẹṣẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ tax 2 ni now.
Okay.
Tax 2, number 5.
Now. Ẹ̀yin let's scroll down.
No, Which?
Let's confirm that task.
Cloud administrator.
Yeah, you created a group.
Okay, what you mean? What you mean? Yeah, I get
Bless
it.
you.
Bless you.
Oh, you're welcome, sir. So you can see that task 5 lawa Shetiri.
Yeah.
Job
I'm saying,
title equals cloud administrator. So it's more accurate.
IT
Then
system
create number task 7 by instance. And create another group. Let's see, task 7.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
So new group. Security IT administrator. Group description. Check the city code.
Bí àmà tiẹ̀ lọ pàdé.
So the group name is they asked us to create a group name with IT system administrators, and then the group description is Contoso IT system administrator, and then the dynamic the group membership type is dynamic, which have not changed. So now change this one to dynamic user instead of assigned user. Then here he asks us to add dynamic query. We now configure the dynamic query for the new group we have just added. So click dynamic query. Under the dynamic queries property,
That'll be job title.
it says type job title. I want to be slowing down now. Job title. Should be doing one by one. Operators is equals. Operator is equals. Then the add value. The value is system administrator. This one. So we put it there. Okay.
A copy of it so that you won't make mistake.
Control V. So now add
expression. Then you save.
Then we save. Then we create. Like if we draw for lorry line. What's the Deruban? But I refresh like not your one.
Oh my wow, create it.
Okay. So we need to create. Okay, back in the group blade of the Azure editor, click. We have to create another group again. This time around. Yes, this is the third group. This is the IT lab administrator. So, let's see if this one done.
So, Mr. Sheung, is your second group back?
Yes, it's back. The second group is IT system administrator.
Yes, do you have it?
Yes, I already have it.
Okay, good. So let's create the third one.
The third one, new group. The group type is security. The group name is IT lab administrators. Group description is Kotuso IT Lab Administrators.
So the membership tab is assigned for this one, right?
I think so. So the membership time is assigned. Yeah. Good catch.
So assign means what?
Assign means we have to add it manually.
Okay, good. So number 12, no member selected, right?
No member selected. Yeah. So from the says after we have clicked the no member selected, from the add members blade, we search and select IT cloud administrators and IT system administrator group, and okay, we have to select two. So let's see. IT cloud and IT system.
Just type IT. Immediate check the two. So click on select.
So the next instruction is we click create material team.
So that means that you have assigned these two groups into the third group. Is that not it?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So the third group membership time assigned because our members in the group here is also their groups. Right?
Yeah.
So now wait, you will click on the first and the last group. You discover that they don't have members. Or by now they could have just click inside them. Just you don't need to check. The first one.
Yeah, click on fourth one today.
Metala create now. It's 3 groups.
That's true.
The third action would have echo members, assign
echo members in here, that's true. So this one doesn't have no member.
LLC members, why?
No member.
I check the other one. This system administrator. Replace the new member.
Yeah.
But we keep the other one. We keep the other one. Co-member still. Or assign dynamically.
Dynamic member, yeah.
No.
Any member now.
We are new member because because your user one should be cloud administrator. So here you'll see users in. Go to users. No, you need to go, yes. Go to home, Active Directory, users. So now click on this user one. And you see units in my one here. So LLC edit properties. So check the scroll down and check. You see the job title. You did not put it. No, department's in here. Scroll up. The job title. Only now, cloud administrator.
Where?
Scroll down. I saw it. You can scroll down. Only here now.
Only.
That's the job, the cloud administrator. So you're supposed to. Oh, you're calling now. So I understand. Oh, you're call hard this user one. Oh, you're call one group. Oh, you're calling. Para see group. Don't touch anything here. Share role. Okay, assign role is one. Assigning any group members. Assigning group members. You can refresh the portal. Refresh the portal. The portal, the main portal. We will see our group here. No user level. No. You go back to home, Active Directory. Let's see. You click on the first one. Let's scroll down. It's having 0 members. No group membership. See 1. Okay. Come on, assign one tailor add them. Click on members. I refresh. I don't know. You could automatically add member. I don't know why. I don't know why. Because the other one is the hard, which is a system. I understand. Or maybe when you are creating it, did you type it?
Creating which one?
I think create the IT kine. When you are creating this group, click on overview.
I did not type, I pasted it.
Group membership. I don't know where you can edit that device. Some member dynamic rules. Class membership change. Oh yeah, go hard automatically. Just quick, but actually last time you had automatically. So
yep.
Mr. Sheon, can you confirm your own?
Your can show lọ́dọ̀ mi.
Which one?
I can padà sí.
Maybe you share your screen.
Share your screen. Let's see.
Okay. Share screen, right?
Yes, it's coming.
Okay.
So we can see the IT system administrators. Wait. Group name, group description, security, membership. All right, back. Click on members. LOC ìsàlẹ̀ dynamic membership rule. Yes, dynamic membership rule. Okay. Dynamic membership rule. Yeah, only. Yeah. So let's review. Now. Job title equals system administrator.
Okay. System administrator kan la ní.
System administrator kan ẹ náà ló hard mọ́ as a member now.
Right. So everything is right.
Add a new cloud administrator your kan, right?
Right. Ó dẹ̀ tún máa add yẹn sí the other.
Ó yẹ kó add them also, so we just confirm the other one.
Yeah, sure. A lot of it. Everything is okay. So
LOC home.
home.
Active Directory. Group.
Okay. So ilé ìlàwọ̀ kan àbí so ká check cloud administrator.
First one, yes.
Member.
You see? Ṣé rí pé Mr. Kunle ṣẹlẹ̀ wọ́n happen. Ẹ lọ sí ẹ wá sọ́wọ́ sàlẹ̀ ẹ click dynamic membership group. Ibẹ̀ ni a ti máa no ẹ padà sí Mr. Ṣeun ẹ padà sórí portal yẹn. Wọ́n kà fi kankan Mr. Kunle ń bẹ̀. So ẹ click dynamic membership group yẹn. So ibẹ̀ ni issue yẹn máa ti ṣẹlẹ̀. So Mr. Kunle, this is dynamic membership rule. Yeah, click on it.
Close the door. Tell I'm taking a class. When I'm done, I'll come out.
So anybody can track and verify cloud administrator. You understand? You can click on edit.
I know what happened.
So what happened? Can you tell us?
Log administrators. I put administrators.
Okay. Now, yeah, remove the S.
Yeah, I'll remove it now.
Senior colleague, and you know I can solve problem with your shemo. I can do something better. Cow. I'm going you if you are talking.
Kí ló dé o, kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? Kí ló ẹ náà wà mí?
Wọ́n rí dynamic member so ẹ kàn add.
Ẹni bó wà ní wà, ṣé lèmi ló wà ní?
Can you imagine?
Ìwà tèmi bẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ fi mí lẹ̀.
Now I've seen
members. Ṣé lè mo kàn wá ń bíbà? Mo fẹ́ kàwé, mo kàn ń jó dé nǹkan ṣètò ni.
Okay. Oh yeah, Mr. Kunle, share screen so that you already know where the issue is.
You want water? Wait. Now, support me, Minnie. Don't beat me. Look at my second screen.
Okay, so this is Ewasi Isale. You see dynamic membership. So click on it.
C'est Christian Dior. C'est. No, it's that you actually put this in the
So she need to
what? Mama, basket me.
Edit already.
Okay.
Okay, it's the idea. It's the expression.
Okay.
Okay, it's your S in your
Yeah. I don't need to touch it.
No, you already have it. It's there. Job title. Emma will let you. You already have it.
Okay, this is it, right?
So click on members.
Go see one no. Okay, to answer. That's why it moves up quickly, man. Slow down.
So you know clap for me now.
Troubleshooting.
Okay, so let's go on.
You finished my water.
So what tax are we now?
They will drink.
To be.
What happened, my dog?
Tax 3 now, right?
Open the door.
That's your banlieue. Let's go down.
I think it's tax 3 now.
So, Mr. Shem, so you'll be the one to handle tax 3.
Where's Demi? Demi has gone to Lagos in Nigeria. Demi? No, Demi, sir.
So, she can share screen, yeah.
Yes, you can share screen.
Yeah.
Incomplete. I thought what were you doing downstairs by yourself? I told me you were just there pressing yourself.
So, tax 3.
Right.
Create an Azure Active Directory. Optional lab environment.
Let me go from there. Someone photo.
In this task, you will create a new Azure AD tenant. In the Azure portal, search for and select Azure Active Directory. Okay. So just go by to Azure Active Directory. Okay. Note, there is a known issue with the cashier verification in the lab environment. Okay. If you receive
We
the
did do this
error,
one that time.
We
sir?
did it now.
We did
Clem?
it.
Yes, we did it.
The capture error.
Yes, now it's back me.
Okay, yes, I
I told
remember.
you
I
that.
remember. I remember.
Most of you go to create, we can check.
Yeah,
I told
I
you I was
remember.
talking from experience. So go ahead, Mr. Sasha.
Okay. So note, there's a known issue with the cashier verification in the lab environment. If you receive the error, creation failed, too many requests, please try later. Do the following. 1. Try the creation a few times.
No worries, skip
Check the
that. Skip that. Go to 2.
2. Okay.
Mm.
Click Manage Tenants, and then on the next screen, click Create and specify the following settings. Settings, directory type, value, Azure Active Directory. So manage tenants.
So
Right here, right?
Yes.
Okay. And
So you can see that you've already created the tenant before.
right.
So you can create another tenant. So that's no problem.
Okay. So click on create, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Me, I have 2 tenants already. Oh.
Create another one on Jawolore.
Directory type, Azure Active Directory. Okay. So review and create. Let me see the next one.
Check your configuration. I didn't ask you to check anything.
Okay. Set it back.
It's already there. It's about to ask.
It's not necessary that you should use Contoso. You can use any organization that you like. Maybe you have another business name that you want to.
Okay. So initial domain name, any valid DNS name consisting of lowercase letters and digits and starting with a letter.
Yeah, it will now be like contoso.com or shieldking.com, something like that.
Okay.
Small letter, Lumaje. No, remove the .org. Just leave it as Contoso. So
Okay.
because the extension is Contoso on Microsoft.com. On Microsoft.com, the one what you
Oh, okay, Motiri. So it's going to be contoso dot on Microsoft.com.
On Microsoft.com, yes.
Okay.
So you choose your state, choose your location, and then
Location is United States. Note, the initial domain name should not be a legitimate name that potentially match your organization or another. The green check mark on the initial domain name text box will indicate that the domain name type is valid and unique. Okay. Click create plus no click review and create, then create. Okay.
So I tried to use Kotoso. He said it's already been used because I've
Right.
created
Yeah,
one.
so I just use another company. You guys should just create an hypothetical company from your mind. You have used change virtual before. And okay. Change your Contoso lab. Push change virtual. Okay, you've already created it.
Oh, anything like change it.
No worries, you've already created it. Let's go.
You think create a more color review.
Yeah, you can. No. Use that. You can just use something different from the one you have used before. You know.
Okay.
Already in use. Everything is already in use. So.
What's already in use?
Oh, okay, the ones I deleted. Now I remember.
So copy that Daniel Ventures and put it. Remove that Contoso lab. Did you get?
I think the Kotoso lab is the problem.
Remove that Contoso lab. That Contoso lab, say, the first one. Yes.
Oh. Okay, anything look Contoso lab.
No, I'm saying you should remove it.
Okay.
You can use your Daniel Dada here.
Okay.
You can use Daniel services. Yeah, it's okay. Once what you accept.
Okay.
Sorry, correct. This is 5JK3Y. Create.
I have to change to Adeoshi lab.
Okay, at least.
Orúkọ tí mò ń mú ló ti lò.
Can imagine. Because it has to be unique across the whole of Azure portal. You know? To be like a URL, you know, pointing to Azure DNS.
Wow, right.
Click on create now. I feel like this thing will have been created. Can you go back to? You don't need to type this thing. Can you imagine what created? Go back to your managed tenants.
Right here.
See it. Yes. Refresh.
Go to Ambe.
That's it.
Go to Ambe. Right.
That's it. Go to Ambe. I'm gonna waste time on it. Eli $1. Yeah. So continue. Let's see the instruction.
Okay. Display the blade to the newly created Azure AD tenant by using click here to navigate to your new tenant in the directory subscription.
Button.
Yeah, click on it. No. Close that. Check the box in front of Daniel Dada.
Okay.
switch that.
Switch what?
Or you said display the blade of the newly created Azure AD tenant by using the clickers lab or the direct plus subscription button directly to the right of the cloud shell in Azure portal. Okay, padà portal.
Okay.
So under your Daniel King Gmail, you'll be blue like icon looking. Daniel King Gmail, look by the right, left.
By the right. Okay.
Yeah, click on it. So go to switch directory. So this is the directory plus subscription also.
Oh, okay, right here.
You understand? So you can see that there is only one directory, which is shocking. So click on add filter, advanced filter rather. On the okay. By the other side.
Okay. Continue.
Yep. So the other side, if you advanced filter one, there's a default. The schedule GT appear.
Appear, right.
Default come one ben look here. I check default.
Default symbol.
Okay. No, not that. There's
one.
A drop down. Yes, there's a drop down there.
Okay.
Click on that. Okay. All right, don't worry. That's what they wanted to do, Sean. It's okay. Just like these two will appear. So the first switch is in. You just switch from Sheo King to Daniel Dada. You know, that kind of thing. At one
point. I have 3.
Sir?
I have 3.
Okay, yes, exactly. You have 3. So now the last action, Mr. Kunle, please share your screen and let's do the last action. The last action.
Last American hero.
Okay, good. So go to the instruction. So manage your Azure AD guest user.
In this task, you will create AD guest users and grant them access to resources in an Azure subscription. In the Azure portal, number 1, in the Azure portal, display the Cortuso Lab Azure AD tenants. In the manage section, click users and then click plus new user. So in the Azure portal, display the Cortuso Lab Azure. Are we talking about this place?
Yeah, go back to Azure. Go back to Azure portal.
Azure portal now.
Okay. So you're going to your users, search for Active Directory domain. The Active Directory, click on. So
users. Cortuso Lab Azure tenants. The manage section. Click users. Manage section.
It's like you want to create a new.
Okay, this one. I think I'm going to this the main, right? The main tenants. Okay. So this is the main tenant.
Yeah, inside the main tenant.
So under the manage section. Under the manage section, click users. It's not users here.
No, that's not what they're asking to do. Go back. go to that instruction 4. Let's check that instruction. He said in this task, you create an Azure AD guest user and grant them access
to resource
in Azure certification. So in the Azure portal, display the Contoso Lab Azure AD.
Okay.
So
That's
it will now to your. So for Mr. Sheonson, it will be Elite creates now. It's going to be Kinikon Lab. Kinikon Lab, like create letter. Yes. So how do you switch? By now we are getting more how to switch. Click on your Azure AD. You already know. That's the switch directory only. So switch to the one that have Adeosh Lab. Exactly. So you're in Adeosh Lab now. So look here, hello, type Azure Active Directory. Go there. So Mr. Sheon, switch city. Ṣé dáadáa ni àbí ò lè create lẹ́kọ̀ọ́?
Daniel
Dada.
Yes.
So this is Adeosh Lab now. So you can see this is the Active Directory for the Adeosh Lab. So here you are going to click on users. So you can see instruction and let's see what the instruction is saying.
So new users.
Exactly. You want to create a new user entirely. So now it be user principal, type lab user. Don't copy that one, just type lab user. Lab user.
All together. Or with a space?
No, all together. Lab user. A copy, I can paste and see display name. So now, can you see that you can use the same thing, sir? So can you see that the lab user type here, would domain here, Adeosun dot. You can drop it down. You can check different domains. The Maright domain, so don't worry, just click on that. So now go to next property. And copy and copy that instruction. So just don't worry, don't copy this one. We'll do as lab user. I don't want you to use this. They are confusing. So job title, system administrator, department title. So just copy job title, system administrator. So the first name here, type lab user. So go to instruction. What else are they asking to put there? Scroll down. So click on the newly created profile. Note, copy the clipboard, the full principal, switch back to, okay. So now I see Azure portal, what you are trying to create.
So I should create it now.
But you have not, go back to previous, go back to previous. Click previous. So copy these two, both the username, yes, that and the password. Copy later. A full space, it's quite a cobweb. So you understand? So that's the username at Ocean, blah, blah, blah. So we will go back to the portal. Now review plus create. Or LLC structure. There's no, just create. There's nothing else. So the structure is saying, okay, navigate back to, switch back to your default.
Switch back to the Azure default. Okay.
Yes. So LLC Azure Active Directory. Type Azure Active Directory. So Emalo invite that lab user as a guest. Just guest scope here.
Oh, okay.
In fact, one of the things I would even want the two of you to do. Okay, I'm not worried. So go back to user all users blade and then click invite external user. Click on user blade. New user, okay. Then you see invite external user, yeah. So now email here, hello copy email, do right. No. If you do window V, window V, window logo V. Okay, here. Then display name lab user. So review plus invite. Click on invite. Shall I click guest? Listen, user type is guest. If you refresh here now, automatically you will see that lab user here.
Was
it there as guest?
Invitation.
I understand. Was it there as guest? Go to your instruction. Let's see any other thing. Mr. Sheon, hope you are getting it. No. Scroll down. So, so go to that lab user, then add membership. Profile, click group, then add membership. IT lab administrator. So that's the last action. So I click the lab user. So LLC group. Click on group. So I click see. What type of kill anything? You group assignment to let you. Not group.
Hold on, please.
Mr. Shaw, are you following?
Yes. Follow.
So, can you controversy with the group regarding to this towards this member?
Yeah, hello, sorry. So what was the question, sir?
My question now is, what are you about to do now?
This is what am I about to do?
Yes.
Add
what's your instruction?
Group. Okay.
Instruction 8, 9, and 10.
Back on the group, sir. Click all user. Click the entry representing the newly created group user account. Click profile blade. Click group. Add membership. Add the user to the IT group. So we are. This is hey. What type of this thing you called it the other time?
Because we didn't be on it.
Hey.
So at me more, I don't know what I did wrong. Is saying invitation failed.
Don't worry, you will share your screen. Let Mr. Kunle finish his own.
Okay.
Is on-prem, not on-prem. I forgot to. Well, I know you said something about it.
When it comes to users and grouping, so which one and which one?
User and grouping. It's
Don't form my hand.
let's see back, bro. Hold on. Go.
Okay, so while you are thinking, Mr.
Should dynamic. No. Dynamic. No, not the dynamic one. I can't remember actually. Don't let me deceive you.
Mr. Shewe, Inko. Roti, that you can dynamically put members in the group, which is dynamic.
And I said it too. I wasn't sure for myself.
Then
Can you imagine? Manual.
So Kinikeji.
Dynamic device. We have assigned, dynamic, and dynamic user and dynamic device.
Assigned. It's as simple as ABC.
Assigned.
Assigned.
I said dynamic. It's salo.
So nǹkan tẹ́ fẹ́ ṣe sìn ẹ fẹ́ assign user yẹn sínú group yẹn ni, so that you are not just pressing your computer, you are not just doing this, doing that. You are like, okay, I know what I'm doing. You understand? That's why I'm intentionally pausing you guys and asking you all these questions. Sure, you get. So, Mr. Kunle, assignments. So, I can kick manually assigning. So, my bossy assignments is my bossy assigned. They will refresh, you see that the membership type will be assigned.
Signed.
You understand? So, Mr. Kunle, you can share your screen. I don't know. You said you lost along the way.
Share me because Mr. Kunle don't share screen one.
Okay, you need rather. Mr. Sheon, rather. So look at it now. Membership type assigned, but the source is where? It's cloud.
Oh God. Serious.
So bulletin.
So bí tí mo bá dé ní, so mo wá fẹ́ create only
user
can be invited because the
domain
this directory.
ẹ mọ̀ kan tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀.
Yeah.
Click on ibi tí Ṣeun King yẹn wà lókè. Daniel Dada yẹn.
Níwọ̀n tá a ṣe yẹn.
Yes.
So can click it.
Click.
Okay.
Click on OK. So you first of all need to create a user from this data. Just create a user. So
On
user,
the
click go to users. You should have something like lab user.
right.
So I will drag user principal name here. A drag here. The Azure one. A drag here. It's okay. So now copy the lab user. Because copy event.
Right.
Ó yẹ padà lọ sí ibi Ṣeun King Daniel dáadáa lókè bí blue yẹn. The other side.
Oh, so I can switch. Okay.
So now switch to the original, which is your Ṣeun King venture.
Okay. Right.
So see it as two different companies on the same tenant.
Okay.
So nǹkan tí wọ́n ṣe ń sìn ni pé ẹ wá lọ síbi òkè ibi search yẹn, type Azure Active Directory, click on it. Ṣé pé ti padà sí normal Ṣeun King ventures báyìí sìn.
Right.
So ṣé pé ti create user yẹn láti bẹ̀ yẹn, ẹ̀ dẹ̀ ti copy UPN, which is your email address. Why invite ẹ̀ báyìí sìn. So go to users.
Okay. Users.
Go to new. Invite external user. So paste email here, man. So what you be display name here, put lab user. So go to reviewer plus invite. Invite. So we are refreshing by saying Maright as a guest invitation. Put today. Okay. As a guest, as an invitation, and is a guest. So click on lab user. So whatever she is, if I assign here, it's a group. So you'll see group, man. No role, group level assign us. Group go assign role.
Okay.
So click on assign membership. So member group level go jet. It's more add membership. Okay. So IT lab administrator. You click on select Sally. And that is it. So you'll verify who are no.
So you can refresh.
Yeah, you can refresh and verify. So I think with that we have come to the end of today's class. So you can stop recording because I want us because we might be having some conversations. Can you stop the recording?
Okay. Oh, let me go back.
Okay, I've stopped it.